Hey guys, welcome back. I'm Will Beach and I'm with Great Trades. I actually started it. I wanted to give everyone an opportunity, the same opportunity. I realized they had the opportunity to trade in a market that's for anyone. All you have to do is do some studying, whether it be the technical analysis side or the fundamental side. I choose technical analysis. I like looking at charts. You can see that in front of me. And how I do that is I have plenty of indicators. Now, you'll hear some people say, oh, too many indicators can mess you up, it can scare you from a trade. Well, it's how you're using the indicators. So I'm going to walk through you today on how to find a breakout, because everyone wants to know how to get in something before it happens. And yeah, we can't predict the future, but we can have a pretty good idea if we just use the system that's in front of us. Now, with that being said, I got these indicators and this setup from a book called Trend Trading from Dummies. It's a great book. I'll put a link below. You guys can access it there if you're interested in it. And then I'll show you how I personally use it, because I've had to alter it a little bit to identify my personal trading style. I'm going to use Apple for the sake of these indicators, but I do penny trades as well. So with that being said, this is a spectrum uh, analysis that can go for anything that anything you want to trade, whether it's penny stocks or the big blue chips. It works all the same. So to get down to the nitty gritty, I use a 4-hour time scale. I think that's conducive. I'm not a day trader. If you're a day trader, maybe you use 5 minute, 15 minute, 30 minute. But I don't day trade, which means I want to be able to carry my trades a day, 2 days, 3 days, a week, 2 weeks. That's about the tops for me. It is trend trading. I'm using momentum, and I'm going to show you how we find it. So we have this nice consolidation channel, which is good to see. But how do we know when it's time to break out in the up direction if you're trading long? All right, so I have my indicators down here: stochastic slow, momentum, MACD, and ADXR. The ADXR is the key component in this setup. It's going to be one of my last confirmations here. So let's start with stochastic. I have my indicators on so I can very easily identify these up arrows and down arrows. I do have them set on the slow D, not the K, so that way I get those indicators. All right, so all right, here we go. So we have an up arrow, but you can see in the MACD where we're going down. So once I get this up arrow, I know that I'm most likely going to get a confirmation up arrow on the MACD. All right, so that's 1, 2. The goal here is that we get 3 indicators in our favor that give us an entry point. The fourth one will be determined by the ADX in the best case scenarios. So that means we want stochastic followed by the MACD, and then we want a positive momentum. Okay, you can see that this green line is above the purple line here, and we want positive momentum. You can see that we do get all 3 of those. This is an entry point. However, you can see we get a red arrow on the MACD, which means there could be a continuation down. And if you look at the chart, it does dip down. So if you were playing tight, you would actually use that as an indicator to get out of the trade and wait for it to confirm again, which you can see here: green arrow up, momentum is above 0, and we're there. Okay, but wait, we get hit again with this red arrow down. Now, the reason why I said you could use that as an indicator if you're playing tight to get out of the trade and wait for the setup again is because that's a safe play. However, when we're identifying the ADXR with this mix, we can identify that this is actually a consolidation phase and we don't need to be scared off by that red indicator. So how do we know that that's a consolidation phase? Because look at our ADX. It's moving with the signals. So this is up and this moves a little bit up. It goes down, it goes down. So when they all move together in tandem, that means you're getting a nice consolidation, that they're all working together, which is a good thing, because once we get into this and we held our position here and we get over to this spot, everything lines up, the stars align, we're still green, we're still momentum positive, and you can see here by the chart that it hasn't even exploded yet, but you can see here that ADX is rising. One of the key numbers in ADX is that you want it above 25, but in general, if everything lines up, we have our positive stochastic and our positive momentum and our positive MACD. That's when we get this ADX, that solidifies the trade, and you get those big breakouts. Okay, that's how you can get into a trade before the breakout. I can identify this on penny stocks and anything else, and I'll show you. I'll pull one up. I just had ARLZ today, so I'll pull one of those up for you. 4-hour chart. Okay, it's not a pretty looking chart. It's been going down for a while, but how do we know it's popping? Well, let's look. We have our green stochastic over here after a big red move in there. We finally get our stochastic green arrow up, followed by the MACD green arrow up. And then what we're looking for is momentum, and we have it. It's up above, but it's kind of shady. It's kind of hovering the line. But this means that anywhere in this point was an actual buy. Now, I don't typically wait for that because, again, look at the ADX. The ADX is way up. That tells me that we're not going to blast off anytime soon. When the ADX is way up like this, it's probably going to come down. That means you're going to go into this consolidation phase because that's what's going on. It's working down back to a normal state. So as we carry along, we could have found it again that we got another green arrow right here. Green arrow and a lower ADX means we're getting back into a safe zone. And if you look, this area is past this low point. So that's good. So now if we use this as our indicator to buy, then we hold for, look, you can see where it actually hold for a couple weeks as the ADX comes back down. We start getting the cup in the ADX, and then the ADX wants to take off again. Momentum is above. Stochastic, we are kind of in a dip. This just means dip. When you see these red arrows after all these confirmations, that just means we're in a dip, and you don't really need to focus on those. So I'm not too concerned about that. ADX is going up. We're above 0 on MACD. We're above 0 on momentum. We're ready to get a bump. And actually, over the last few days, if you would have bought back there, you would have been up from about 30, I think it was 36 cents, and you would have actually hit a high here of 51 cents. 36 to 51 on a penny stock is a big move. You can make a lot of money like that. I don't think this one's particularly done, and I'll go into the daily. If I really want to confirm this and say, what's the daily doing? Green arrow up, momentum is starting to break above 0, but look what we got. We have this high ADX again, which means over the next course of a month or so, this thing is going to be coming back down, consolidating, and getting ready for another move as long as everything stays congruent. This is a consolidation phase. You want to be in stocks somewhere in that consolidation phase to catch those breaks. You want to make sure that the break is going to go in the direction you want. If the ADX goes up and the MACD goes down, like you see right here, ADX goes up, MACD goes down, that is a sign of a huge fall. Just like it's the sign of a huge gain if MACD is up and ADX is going up. It's the same if the ADX is going up and the MACD is falling. Huge fall. So you got to be very cautious about where you're buying in at and see these indicators on what's going to really do the best for you. And the best thing for you is to understand that consolidation, how these indicators flow with each other. You don't need to use them one or the other. They all work together, and when you use them together, that's when you have the best chance of making big money. I have a real account that I use, Robinhood. It's commission free. It's easy. It's for people who don't day trade, which means you don't need to worry about how fast it is because sometimes Robinhood could be a little bit slow. But it is good, solid foundation for people who are starting to trade. I use Thinkorswim platform for my indicators, for my chart setups, and I also paper trade. With these setups, I used APRI, ARLZ, SWN, which I can show you that one. And I made over 18,000 in 3 days with my paper trade account. This is how I did it. I found SWN on this chart like this. Green arrow up, confirmed by the MACD, momentum crosses, ADX is cupping, heading up. So if you look at this setup right here, it would have been this midway purchase right in this area here, and then that's 437, and then you get this continuation. That is almost a $1 gain. just in the matter of about 2 weeks time. So 2 to 3 weeks time. So just like that, I was able to find, this trade. In theory, you do not have to sell your trade until the MACD crosses back over into red. I don't recommend that because then you start wading into a time frame where you're going to end up losing. I prefer to take profit where you're comfortable. I mean, taking money is the name of the game here. So again, this is trend trading, momentum trades. It's swing trades. It is not day trading, and it is not long-term holding. Although you could find these same setups if you into a weekly or a monthly setup, but this is not long-term stuff. This is short-term stuff. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I know it's a lot of information. Please ask any questions, and I'll be happy to answer any of them. Follow me on Instagram, Great Stock Trades, and my YouTube channel. Subscribe below if you like these videos, and I'll be happy to shoot some more. Take care, guys, and keep studying.